All right, everyone, welcome back. Today we have a very, very special guest today with us. We have Kyle Stofflet. Kyle, could you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, so everyone, I'm Kyle Stofflet, one of the founders of the Swap. Also involved with the ICP Hub United States, and Mission Comms is our essentially like our agency that helps film everything around the Swap and get things going to market and stuff. So.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
happy to be here with you, Aaron. Got to meet you first back in 2023 in Bitcoin Miami, then hang out with you recently in Vegas and Nashville the year before. So love that we're going to be chatting about Bitcoin because clearly we've been around it for the last couple of years at the conference and stuff. So this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. In this episode, we're going to be talking a lot about Bitcoin DeFi, some ICP stuff, and maybe even about the swap. Could you kind of elaborate on what the swap is? For
Yeah.
us?
Yeah, so with the swap, I originally started this back in 2021. Initially, I was more in like the trading mindset back then. So that was actually August of 2021 when it was established. I believe August 12th is the birthday. But basically, I kind of saw the need for capturing internet culture with Web3, right? And going to these conferences and stuff is a big part of that, where um, we could have essentially gone in to be like a thrasher of like street crypto culture with the NFTs and all of that at that time. So we want to capture like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff of what these communities are really doing. And we're not quite necessarily there yet, but we're trying to get to a point where we can start expanding with our own conferences and covering different sorts of media around crypto that you wouldn't typically see. So,
Yeah. I've been watching you guys from the beginning. I mean, I feel like we've both known each other since like the early days of our career. I mean, and it's been amazing watching you guys grow and everything. You guys have like completely leveled up and everything since the first time I met you guys back in 2023. And you also have a runes project, and we recently
mhm.
partnered together for Kong with it. Could you talk a little about your runes project, Go to Gamer?
Yeah. So Go to Gamer is like a really big passion project for me. I was a gamer all my life. I would stream. Once upon a time, I had a pretty decent account. Do tournaments growing up in the early days. For I guess the young ones out there, you used to go and sit in a line all night for a midnight release, and then they'd have like tournaments and stuff at GameStop and stuff. Really different culture than downloading and stuff now, but Go to Gamer is meant to be like tournament gameplay. So I know Dom mentioned hyper local esports. I do envision Go to Gamer being a bit more than hyper local, but for the time being, it's a meme coin, and it is going to be something that we have the biggest wallet of it to give out prizes and stuff just for like recreation, gaming and stuff for game nights and stuff right now. But over time, we're going to continue developing some stuff, and I do plan to use caffeine to help with some of the developments, maybe get some games and stuff out there so it's easier for mobile players to get involved, getting games that way. Maybe we can get caffeine to make a go to chess or something. I don't know, but I see it as a way to get the community involved for the most part. But yeah, as far as development goes, we did like an esports bracket, kind of like March Madness online. That hasn't been completed yet, just because Daniel's focusing on Ubin right now.
Yep.
But we have some stuff going for there. But it's a meme coin. Have fun. Um, like as far as memes go wild with it, and you never know. So, but yeah, I would say it's just meant to be for the gamers out there. Go to Gamer is a big part of the swaps ecosystem. We have VRM characters and stuff that will be available for metaverse usage, or game characters and stuff like that. We already have VRM for it, and we have other characters and stuff that are um, meant to go with like the swaps universe. So stories that come into it eventually. So
Yeah. That's awesome. And, a big part of this talk we're going to have, and we'll get into it right now, is Bitcoin DeFi. So, Bitcoin DeFi has basically been taking off on the internet computer, in my opinion. And I feel like you're probably your opinion, Kyle, that the best way to build Bitcoin DeFi is actually on ICP because of its capabilities and everything. And I think Bitcoin DeFi, the way I see it is I've watched it kind of grow from the beginning, at least when it really started to get pushed. And basically, it was just really shitty at first, and there was a lot of hype around it, and a lot of there's money backing it. But the products, honestly, were just terrible. They were slow, bad UX, built on these trash side chains. But now we're starting to see kind of a rebirth of Bitcoin DeFi 2.0 that's built on ICP, Internet Computer. And these projects have a much superior UX, and that's at the end of the day how you're going to get the volume in the users. Is the users only care about the UX. They don't really care about what chain it's built on. They just want a superior user experience. And we've seen projects like Odin.fun and Liquidium's new borrowing and lending project that will be coming out in a couple months or whatever. Those are a couple of just projects that are utilizing ICP or built on ICP and are kind of really leading the space in Bitcoin DeFi. When I think about the blue chip dApps in Bitcoin DeFi right now, I've just kind of gotten into it, but I really think about Odin.fun and Liquidium. And for CongSwap as well, we're starting to get into Bitcoin DeFi as well. We're talking to a couple teams there. We got some interesting things coming in the future. But I kind of want to know, I guess, your thoughts of Bitcoin DeFi and the state it's at right now.
yeah, well, first off, I do want to say I love that CongSwap is going into Bitcoin DeFi because I do think it has like this untapped market with like massive potential. As far as getting into like the 2.0 of it, I agree with you because when Runes launched, it was initially like first you have to go to Ordinals, right? Because Casey Rodimer launched Ordinals. There was a lot of NFT projects, essentially. Ordinals are inscriptions and stuff on Bitcoin. And basically, they were doing airdrops and stuff for Runes projects. And it had this craze going. Like I'm talking like 5-figure airdrops and stuff like that. It was madness. A lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And then the market for Runes, when it launched, it hit like about like 2 billion or so. And, that's a very small amount compared to where Bitcoin's overall market cap is. The issues at the time were very slow trading experience. You had to separate UTXOs and essentially like do it all like by the order book. So like it wasn't great. Like it was a very bad experience. It was very slow. And like when you bought a rune, you wait 20-30 minutes, maybe in a couple hours because of the network being congested, and then all of a sudden your meme coin is down like a lot. So like you could have been down bad in that brief amount of time. Whereas with Internet Computer being a big proponent of like this Bitcoin Runes 2.0, it allows people to trade 1 to 2 second finality, like really great user experience. People don't have to wait or separate. They can just literally click buy. Like it's insane with the speed. It gives people that great experience that do want to use their Bitcoin to trade. And I think a lot of people have historically seen meme coins be a way that you could increase your position to get more of that native chain token if you wanted, like through trading. And now obviously that's, like comes down to if you are disciplined and can make, good decisions and stuff, if you're up a lot of money, or, not overdoing it if you're down. But it is definitely been a proven way that like, hey, if I'm on Ethereum, like, and I caught a meme coin early and I cashed out, like there would be a lot more Ethereum in my wallet. I think a lot of people in Bitcoin are, anticipating this to be a massive market to start grabbing a lot of that market share of the Bitcoin market cap. And that's why, I think it has a lot of untapped potential because it's only hit about $2 billion. And recently, as you mentioned, Odin Fund, they did over 400 million in volume, and it's probably higher now. But I think it's a great market to get into right now, and it's like infancy stage.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely at its infancy. Like I talk about it, I'm like, I think the best Bitcoin DeFi products, we may not even know what they are right now because they haven't come out or something like that. And I really do believe the best Bitcoin DeFi is going to be the ICP DeFi projects, in my opinion. And I also think you touched on a good point when it comes to like volume and like DeFi and like a DeFi ecosystem taking off. Like I guess it requires basically two things, well, three things in my eyes. It's like the base token has to perform. So example, like Bitcoin is always performing, which is like I'll get into in a second. Solana performed really well this bull market. Sui, Ethereum, and then also the user experience of the DeFi actually has to be good. So the apps have to be usable. You got to be trading as quick as possible, which is I think is going to be interesting with Bitcoin DeFi because Bitcoin DeFi is going to have an on-par experience with Solana when it comes to user experience, and then also marketing as well, just getting it out there and letting people know this thing actually exists. And kind of strategizing whether it's like getting a hot meme coin to take off a sector like we saw with Base and Brett, or something like that. And I think that's one of the big things that people with Bitcoin DeFi they don't really talk about, or some people or whatever. But the Bitcoin itself as an asset is the best asset by far in the market, and it's not really close. And this has kind of been really proven over the past 6 months that Bitcoin is king. So when you think about a long-term outlook, you think about the next 10 to 20 years, and you think about liquidity, it's like, well, do we know Ethereum and Solana and Sui are going to perform against Bitcoin long-term? Probably not. They're probably going to get crushed by Bitcoin long-term. That's probably what happens, just being real. And the Bitcoin ecosystem, the big Bitcoiners, the OG guys, the guys who are putting a lot of money in the Bitcoin DeFi, their bags are going to continue to get bigger and bigger. They're going to have more money to pump into this ecosystem. And that's part of like a big reason why I'm bullish, because at the end of the day, we all know this. It comes down to how much money you have backing an ecosystem, how much liquidity is there. And Bitcoin DeFi liquidity will always exist. I mean, pretty much, unless Bitcoin goes to zero or something. So, yeah, and that's like a big reason why I'm bullish on it. And I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting that. Like, if you take a look at most cryptos, they normally, if they perform really well, they have one cycle against Bitcoin. Ethereum had one cycle, gets crushed. Solana had one cycle, is going to get crushed. Sui, one cycle, is going to get crushed. Like, that's the reality of it. The asset performance is never going to beat Bitcoin. So, and I think that's a big thing people are kind of like just not thinking about long term.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I do think like in comparison, currently we're at like a Rune Summer like point. Like if things like all these different projects like Liquidium, as you mentioned, they're doing like cross-chain swaps and stable coins and all of that. If all these things continue to align with projects giving Bitcoin users a great user experience, then I think that like the stars just essentially align for the market to figure out what it wants to do. And to touch on your point, in a similar scenario, right? So I'll go back to ordinals. When ordinals came out, there was, not a lot of users, into it. It was disrupting Bitcoin. It was congesting the network. It was causing a lot of issues. The first wave of runes was very similar to that because it was bad user experience. Now we have great user experience options, and people are starting to figure it out and get more accustomed to it. Well, ordinals went through, I believe it's on its like second year or whatever in time frame, and like approaching 3 years or something like that. Basically, ordinals were NFTs to other people outside the ecosystem of Bitcoin. They're essentially NFTs, but with a lot more data, and they're etched into the network. These ordinals, there was some that went over a full Bitcoin. Like, had you invested 0.01 Bitcoin and you hit 100x on that, you'd be losing your mind. In today's market, I have 105,000 or whatever Bitcoin is, all because I bought an ordinal and it went crazy. Like, there was stuff going way beyond one Bitcoin in for a floor, for some of these collections. And sometimes they were more like isolated one-of-ones or, just really small collections and stuff. But the opportunity to multiply your position through ordinals was insane. And I think it would be like foolish for people to like ignore where Runes is at with this trading experience that's offered now. At least try a little bit. Like, I'm not saying like go crazy with it, but the opportunity to multiply and get more Bitcoin is like, it's one of those uncharted things necessarily, like right now, just because it's in its infancy. We don't know like how big the market could get for it, but I'm under the belief that Bitcoin's going to be here forever, right? The conference was electric. There was a lot of excitement with just Bitcoin L2s in general, but it's been very clear that a lot of builders have been gaining interest in what Bitcoin and the internet computer can do together. There was panels for it at Inscribing Vegas, inscriptions, so ordinals, so inscribing, art on Bitcoin. That was a big conference. It was one of the only ordinals conference at the Las Vegas week that was basically co-signed by Bitcoin Conference and Bitcoin Magazine. So really big movement there. Casey Rodamar was there, who created ordinals and runes. So I do enjoy the names that he created. It kind of gives that storytelling around it. I know a lot of people are skeptical on meme coins and stuff. So giving the Bitcoiner something different to be unique, to stand out, to different market share, I think is interesting. So.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing that's, really looking bullish for the runes ecosystem, and once again, I'm speaking from the perspective of somebody who just got in, so, and everything, but the dog coin has been doing very well. It recently got listed to Kraken. Also, Kraken is integrating runes now into their platform. Very, very bullish. These are things you want to see. You want to see runes getting integrated everywhere. And that's a big thing to see. If the main meme coin, another big indicator of how a chain's health is doing is how the meme coins are doing. And the Bitcoin main rune, dog coin, is doing very, very, very well. And they're about to get listed on Kraken. Runes are getting integrated to Kraken. I feel like we're kind of seeing this play out right in front of our eyes. And some people, like, I've noticed this, like, really noticed this. I mean, I made a video on Bitcoin, DeFi, and ICP like 4 years ago in 2021. But in the past 6 months, I really had this big epiphany of like, well, every coin's getting wrecked versus Bitcoin. And, statistically, you look at every single chart versus it. As long as the user experience can be on par with Solana, this thing could be absolutely massive. Maybe not in the next year, but probably by the time next cycle hits, it could be a massive place for trading where billions and billions and billions of dollars of volume. It's not going to happen. I honestly don't even for Bitcoin DeFi to get ridiculous volume. I'm not sure if it happens this cycle because, I personally feel like we probably only got 6 to 9 months left of like this cycle pretty much. But when it comes to long term, I could totally see this being 4 years from now, next bull market being a massive, massive thing. Because there's people backing it. People are finding out that if we build on ICP, then we'll have the best Bitcoin DeFi. And that was kind of like a big issue. I mean, it was just like all the products suck. So I think we're really, 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 and that's why for KongSwap, we're getting into it and everything because, we understand, like where the direction of this market is heading and, the potential as well.
Yeah. And not to get like political or whatever, but it's a big like part of it, right? Bitcoin has the most clarity around it. Like just point blank simple, like there's nothing to like argue on that. It has the most clarity around it. And we were told when the administration got into office that meme coins and NFTs are collectibles. So like a lot of people got into this whole thing and like there was just more clarity of like, hey, this is how you could stay within certain guardrails of just public announcements and stuff. So I do think that plays a part once we find more clarity with other things and other ecosystems with what you can do as a builder in Web3 or blockchain in general, that those have room to grow more then. But that could be a bit. And, as as we said before, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. It might not have like I don't anticipate runes to go to a trillion like Bitcoin is. Obviously, it's going to take time. Like, obviously Bitcoin's higher than a trillion, but it's taken it 16 years to get it to this market cap. It's the most trusted, most secure. Like, people like around the world know about Bitcoin. A lot of people have heard about meme coins in crypto, and whether they think it's scams or not. Bitcoin is the most trusted. Therefore, I think most people would try out a rune compared to other networks. And if they're getting good user experiences from what BTC and ICP can do, then they're going to enjoy clicking and trading, or even just getting involved with the ecosystem projects and stuff. So that's why I think we're at an interesting point in its infancy stage. As more people kind of come into this world that we're all in online, then it has a lot of room to grow over the next 10 years. It just has to continue seeing adoption, which it's very clear from 2023's conference in Miami that it was all about miners yet. 2024, we started to see more of L2s come in. This was the first conference where they were in and talking about it. There was excitement brewing around L2s, but the maxis were get off my yard type thing. They're getting very defensive. And then this year it was a lot more accepting than it's ever been before. I would say it's more people are talking about what can we do with Bitcoin now? What's the exciting things we can build around Bitcoin, and how do we make big impacts with that? And I think that's just going to continue to grow at each of these conferences each year at this point. And we were there this year. The swap's been there for 3 years as press. It's behind the scenes, we talked with a lot of builders and stuff, and it's just this is what people are really gravitating towards, is what you can do around Bitcoin. And there's nothing more exciting right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. It is really, really, really interesting. And I think it's, you're starting seeing it play out right now with all these different DeFi casinos on other chains are just going head to head, and all their main tokens are just getting destroyed versus Bitcoin. So as long as Bitcoin can keep up, and I think it's really just, I hate to say it, but it's just really, it's a cookie you got to be patient for. It's not, I wouldn't say, don't expect your bags to just go absolutely bananas and there to be crazy volume this cycle necessarily, because shit takes time to develop. At the end of the day, Odin.fund just came out this year, and things do happen quickly in technology. So you want to see, quick growth. But also there's a lot of, Liquidium's new product is going to be coming out. Also, we don't know where we're at with the market. So I think it may take a bear market for people to kind of wake up and realize, I need to be trading over here. That's sometimes what it takes. In the bear market, a lot of coins get flushed out, a lot of ecosystems get flushed out. There's new winners who arise. And I think it's very, very possible that next cycle, Bitcoin DeFi may not be the main chain everyone's trading on, but it could at least be in the top 3, in my opinion. I think really could be. And I don't even see why it couldn't be number 1. It's very, very possible. It just kind of, there's a lot of factors that are involved. If you look at Solana and everything, it was, people made, so much. I mean, I invested a bunch in Solana at $15. Everyone made so much money quickly. They had a bunch of influencers. If you notice, I don't know if you noticed about Solana at the end of 2023, everyone was talking about it. Right before it popped off, everyone was talking about it. Ansem, all the big influencers. And then they were able to, WIF went to $4 billion. That's a big thing. The dog coin, the reason why I bring it up is that is a huge, what took off base was Brett. So if you take a look at some of the ecosystems that have had the most success, it's really driven off the fact that one of their meme coins went so high and they're able to attract a lot of attention. And outside of even just you made a bunch of money, this is what attracts developers as well. Developers want to make money. And if they know they can come in the ecosystem and be profitable and have a real business, that's huge. Because at the end of the day, we all have to put food on the table, and the code's supposed to turn in the money unless it's your fun project or whatever. Yeah.
And to touch on the explosion of DeFi in Solana, we have my friend Shaw, who Shaw Makes Magic, started AI16Z. They leaned into the meme, but they had agent tech Like they created the ELIZA framework, and that grew to the biggest framework in the world, by repos on GitHub. Like people were forking it, starring it, you name it. Like there was so much excitement around it. And he was hanging out with us at our studio in December. We were working on metaverse stuff years prior. And so like I've always have had like on and off working relationship with Shaw, but basically he launched this framework, and once he was at our studio in December of this past year, we got to hang out, congratulate him on it hitting 600 million within a month, and all of a sudden it hit over $1 billion in a month, and then hit like 2.7 billion, and the ecosystem around it, like there was numerous projects like numerous tokens around it that were also over 200 million each. Like it was just insane. Like they've definitely reached well beyond 3 billion around its ecosystem and stuff that they were doing. So it was interesting to see. I've never seen something like that like just happen so quick. Meme coins are different on Solana, and there's a lot of people that take excitement about it. Like I have people that like are outside of crypto that are just like, where's the memes? They don't want to hear about tech. They just want to know, what do they have a chance on making money on? Like if you could just have money appear, right? Like that's basically what people are looking for, something that they can get in and out of, not have to worry about it. And meme coins are just different because the volatility on it, the risk. If you're holding it for a couple of weeks or whatever, you could be at risk in certain networks. I don't know. But like some people just want something they could play for a week and be done, make some money, go do a trip, or go hang out, have more money to spend, and so on. That's what the common person is essentially looking for,
Yeah, 100%. Like that's what most people in crypto do, is make money. And that's why DeFi has been the most successful sector by far. And it's not even close. And it's going to continue, in my opinion, to get bigger. I think DeFi is going to grow exponentially as the years go on. And I talked about this off camera with you earlier, but literally the #1 search on YouTube is for crypto is fucking 100x meme coin. That is what the market wants. And also I don't necessarily see that ever changing, because people always want to make money, duh. And there's also no other sector like crypto where you can make money so quickly. Like you're talking about the AI 16Z thing. I mean, they started, basically the AI boom in late December.
Mm-hmm.
They were the reason why the whole AI agent thing started. And things can change very quickly in crypto, like we just talked about. People can have big come ups, people can have big fall offs, people can make comebacks. It's crazy, to see how everything's evolved over the past 4 years and everything. But I don't really want to make this super, super long, because I feel like people but is there anything else you kind of want to, I guess there's a couple things I'd want to talk about. Is there anything else you kind of want to talk about? We can talk about anything.
I think with just real brief with the hub.
Let's talk about that.
So obviously I work with my business partners, Aaron Biebert, Jenny Biebert, Jimmy Jake Shaw, and stuff on that. We had a great time in Las Vegas. We brought in 7 of our team members. And so just the trip alone, like we did like over 20 different interviews and stuff. We had got to share a few drinks and stuff with Aaron here, and just enjoy some of the events and stuff around Las Vegas. I would say there's nothing more exciting than like Bitcoin L2s right now. There's a lot of people that are opening up to the possibilities of it. And I think as far as like with our hub goes, we're gonna I'm not sure when this is coming out, but we're gonna have a banger of a video for ICP United and stuff. Should be dropping Monday, and then some more stuff to follow that. But we do want to get an event soon in Milwaukee. So if you guys are in the area, we'll have some announcements about that, maybe July or so. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, Aaron. Anything else that you want to touch on?
I'd just say, like, you put on a great event in Vegas. If you guys ever come out to a crypto conference, make sure to like figure out where he's at, because he's got a really cool camera setup and everything. Really, really nice stuff going on. I had a great time. You're really moving the needle when it comes to Bitcoin DeFi, ICP, all those things. You know, you, Aaron Bieber, and your whole team and everything, you guys are doing an amazing job. And also for Kong and Go to Gamer, you know, guys, we're gonna have a lot coming. You know, marketing initiatives. We're really gonna be doing some really cool things. And for you know, Kong as well. You know, we're tapping into Bitcoin DeFi, so we got a lot coming in. We're really gonna go cross chain and everything. So yeah, but that's all I got. If you enjoyed this video, make sure, you know, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and also join my Telegram. Link in bio. And yeah, thank you for watching.